Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. Today's setup is slightly different. As you guys might know from my last video, I will be attempting to dye these pair of Salomon XT-6. After much consideration, I decided to go with the graphite grey. Also, I apologize for the slight noise in the background. Of all days, my neighbors decide to do renovation works today. But despite that, I will still be videoing and documenting this entire process. So the inspiration behind dyeing this XT6 model will definitely be from 11 by BBS. They are object dyed shoes. I just love how they look, but I'm not a big fan of their base models. I still like the XT6 model a lot. Like, there's nothing wrong with them, I just do not like it enough to pay the steep retail price. So I decided to custom dye my own XT6 model. So just a backstory, what gave me the push to commit to such a project is actually a Grailed listing I saw. Someone dyed their pair of XT6 and I thought that they looked amazing. Initially I wanted to buy it off him, but sadly the condition of the shoe isn't the best, so I ended up passing on it and I thought of recreating the shoes myself. So the Grailed listing picture actually helped me to visualize the rough estimate of the end result, and it gave me the confidence to go for it. Now this is my first time doing such a DIY project to a shoe. I have no experience prior to this, absolute amateur. So if my dyeing technique isn't the best, please go easy on me. I'm just gonna have fun and experiment with it. If the project flops, I'm planning to use the shoes as a trail running shoe, so they will not go to waste. So the game plan is to create a shoe with a lighter upper and a darker outsole. I will be using half a bottle of dye first to see how the shoes react and add on accordingly if required. I'm planning to soak them in and take them out at the 3-minute mark to observe the color of the shoe. If I'm not satisfied, I'm going to soak them in until I achieve my desired outcome. Now, based on my research and watching countless tutorials, I found that many people decided to use the Rit Dye synthetic fiber dye because it clings on better to plastic parts. Those natural dyes or fabric dyes do not work as well, so I've decided to go with it. I've also decided to use acetone, essentially nail polish remover, to remove the protective coating on the shoe so it clings onto the dye better. I've also decided to use a smaller plastic container. This is about 14 liters. I got it off Shopee. I'm not sure how this plays out because there are many other tutorials that use larger containers. But from my observation, the shoes end up floating around and it is very hard to weigh it down. It also takes a lot of time to fill it up and lots of water. And on top of that, you have to use a lot of dye because it gets diluted. So I think a smaller container would be more strategic. I've decided to use tongs as well to better control and handle the shoes in boiling hot water. I have gloves to protect my hands. And apparently many tutorials also recommend using a tablespoon of salt, which I got here, and a tablespoon of dishwashing liquid. So I will be filling this tub with hot water, which I will take from my kitchen. Hopefully this is enough. In the meantime, I will add in the salt as well as a tablespoon of dishwashing liquid. Okay, I will add in the last batch of boiling water. It should be good because when you add the shoes in, there's a bit of weight. As mentioned, I will be adding in half a bottle of Rit Dye first. Ooh. I am so nervous. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, they are so buoyant. Okay, right now it's like a purple. Oh, the plastic is reacting pretty well. Okay. Alright, about 2 minutes have passed. I figured that this method works best, using the thongs to just hold it down. So I will take them out at the 3-minute mark. I was not expecting them to turn out so purple. But look at the sole though. I feel like I'm barbecuing. Okay, I should probably just hold it down and stop playing with it. Alright, 3 minutes. It's the 3-minute mark, so I'll just take them out and then observe it. Right now it's very purple, which is quite cool, but I want the soles to be slightly darker. I will keep them inside for 5 minutes. Alright, it's currently the 5-minute mark. This is how the shoes look like currently. Very purple. I'm not sure whether is it because I did not add enough dye or because I did not soak the shoes long enough. The ACS which is the supports feature, actually reacts with the dye pretty well. I think I should probably up the concentration of dye, so I'll just add in the remaining dye. Hopefully it works, please. Desperate. So about the 6-minute mark, I just add in the remainder of the dye, so it's a lot more concentrated now. We'll see how it goes. It's really interesting to see how BBS managed to create the distressing effect, and I'm very curious how they do it and how uneven the dye is. I'm really loving how the outsole is looking right now. Okay, the upper is looking really solid. Okay, it's becoming very dark and I'm quite happy with it. So I'll probably take it off now. I will be transferring them into a bucket. These are looking really nice. I will check back with you guys in a bit. I'm going to rinse them off and probably dry them. So after rinsing and drying them off, here is the final outcome. I am so happy and so stoked at how it turned out. I am very pleased with how the color turned out. Because the shoe is constructed with different materials, it clings onto the dye differently. It is predominantly light grey with a slight purple hue. I managed to achieve a lighter grey upper with a darker outsole. The upper is really unique. The front mesh is in a lighter grey color and it slowly transitions into a darker grey at the back. Same for the eyelets. I'm not sure if the camera picks up. The plastic overlay is in a lighter grey as well. I'm very surprised at how the outsole turned out. It is in this olive grey, which is very nice. And the plastic ACS support plate became a dark purple. And it really gives contrast to the shoe. My favorite part would definitely be the bleeding or stained effect. I am amazed how this look could be achieved easily without much prep work. And I was not expecting so much of this stained effect, which is very similar to the BBS shoes. And this could be seen throughout the outsole. The bottom of the shoe became a light pink or light purple, as I did not soak them in for so long. And surprisingly, the tongue managed to absorb most of the dye, turning into a black color. And you have the Salomon tab, which is in this dusty light purple color. Words cannot express how happy I am with the contrast of the colors. I think that it turned out really nicely. It's definitely going to be a mixed opinion shoe. Not everyone will like it, but I am a big fan of how it turned out, and I will be wearing them a ton. So I want to recap some parts of the process and give you some pointers so that you do not make the same mistake as me. Make sure you have enough hot boiling water ready. The amount I prepared wasn't exactly sufficient. It was about 12 liters. I had to go separate rounds to top up with my kettle. So make sure you get enough boiling water ready. I started with half a bottle of dye. It wasn't enough to get the shoes darker, and eventually I ended up pouring everything in at the 6-minute mark. I'm not sure if it would make a big difference, but I would have added the entire bottle at the start if I knew. And I was not expecting the shoes to be so buoyant. You can see when I first added it in, the shoes were floating, and a lot of times the shoes ended up upside down with the outsole facing up. I guess that is how I achieved the light pink outsole. And I find myself using the tongs a lot, pressing the shoes down and forcing them to stay submerged. So make sure you have a pair, it really comes in handy. So in case the format of the video is very messy, I've included all the steps and items required in my description. If you're interested, do take a look. I want to sum up my thoughts on the entire process. It was actually a very fun project to do. It doesn't require much items. Dyeing of the shoe only took me 10 minutes, and I brought it down to rinse it and let it dry. That's about it. And also to address some concerns, some of you are worried that after soaking them in boiling hot water, the glue may separate from the shoe. I can't guarantee that it won't happen to my pair, but so far it is pretty intact, and some of you are worried that the shoe will shrink. After soaking them in for 10 minutes and after drying and throwing them on feet, the sizing feels pretty much the same. So I hope it addresses some of your concerns. Now before this video, I was on YouTube trying very hard to find a proper tutorial on the dyeing of the XT-6, but sadly I couldn't find any. So I decided to make this video to put information out there. I hope it would benefit you and give you the confidence to dye your own pair as well. Now, I'm not going to gatekeep this. I believe everyone should try dyeing their pair because it is so much fun. All I'm asking for is a small shout out or some form of credits. Tag me, message me and send me photos of your end result if you ever decide to dye your pair. I will be genuinely happy and excited to see your end result and the different colorways and designs you guys come up with. I hope this video has given you the information you need on dyeing your pair of Salomon XT-6. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. And I would also like to give credit to a few YouTubers. Their videos have helped me out a lot. The first video will be from This is Antoine, where he dyed his pair of A6. It helped me to determine how the plastic reacts with the Rit Dye, because initially I was worried that it would not change color. The second YouTuber is Jake Polino, where he dyed his Air Force Ones. It helped me to determine how long I should soak my shoes in for. And the third YouTuber is from a user named Couldn't Tell You, who used the graphite grey Rit Dye. It helped me to determine the exact color and end result of the dyed product. So a big thank you to all of you for helping me make my project a smooth one.